If you clicked on this video, it's probably because you know that incorporating songs, rhymes, and chants into your young learner lessons is really an easy way to make the language learning process more effective and enjoyable. In this video, I'm going to briefly summarize the benefits of using music and movement with primary age learners and offer plenty of tips and practical ideas on how to choose, teach, and follow them up. Music and songs are popular in classrooms around the world, and what many teachers feel intuitively, research has confirmed. There is no doubt that they are a wonderful way to develop a child's first language, but they also have so much potential for the foreign or additional language classroom. Listening to and singing songs also helps improve and extend vocabulary, develop an awareness of the rhythm, intonation, and individual sounds of the English language. They are enjoyable and memorable, and also help develop children's ability to wait, listen, remember, and predict. And these are the foundation skills for literacy. However, we can't forget that an important reason for using songs is the pure enjoyment and social interaction that comes from learning and performing them. There are some specific characteristics that make some songs more appropriate than others for the English language classroom. First of all, choose songs with repetitive lyrics, a moderate pace, and a really strong rhythm. Some examples are 10 Green Bottles, The Rainbow Song, Head, Shoulders, Knees and Toes. Not only are these songs catchy, they can also connect to themes like numbers, colours and body parts, making them really easy to integrate into the vocabulary that you'll find in many of your children's course books. Songs that have gestures are also best. Great examples of this are Hokey Pokey and the Banana Song. Both of these involve actions that actually support the meaning of the words. When using traditional children's songs, you should always do your research. A responsible and progressive educator is mindful and intentional with their choice of songs and chants. Many traditional songs that I've grown up with and admittedly taught to my students in the past have undeniably racist origins. But now that I know better, I do better, and so can you. Lastly, the song should be age appropriate. Twinkle Twinkle may be a huge success with your pre-primary students, but don't try this with older children. The more you know your students, the easier it will be to choose the right songs. If you aren't sure about the kind of music that would appeal to them, just ask them. With a little research and using these tips as a guide, you can build up a great repertoire of songs for primary age children. This makes incorporating music and movement into your lessons quick and easy. In those moments when you see the learners are restless and need a change of pace, you'll know the perfect song to get them up, singing and moving. They are often the perfect brain break. After choosing a song, make sure you practice beforehand and get a feel for the song. Get confident about the meaning and the pronunciation of the lyrics. Then, when you introduce it to your students for the first time, start with the movements and the gestures and maybe even some visuals to help them understand the general meaning. Always make sure that you can see and make eye contact with your students. Exaggerate your facial expressions and smile as you sing. Keep the actions simple and consistent, and don't insist that they join in. They may only watch for the first few times, but this doesn't mean they aren't interested. Keep going, and they will join in eventually. It's also important not to overcorrect their English, as this may discourage them from participating. Finally, and importantly, don't worry if you don't feel like you have an amazing singing voice. Enthusiasm really is the most important thing, and your students love to sing with you and each other, no matter how you sound. There are lots of traditional children's games that you can use with songs and chants. So here go some examples. So this playground game involves a group of children asking a question repeatedly to another child. What's the time, Mr. Wolf? And the wolf answers back with different times. It's 5 o'clock. The children then take the corresponding number of steps forward in the direction of the wolf. What's the time, Mr. Wolf? And at some point, the wolf will answer with dinner time, and the children have to run all the way back to the starting point without getting caught. The chant in this game, what's the time, Mr. Wolf? It's 1 o'clock. What's the time, Mr. Wolf? It's dinner time. And many other games like this one, they provide a natural and fun context for this drill-like repetition of formulaic language. And the children will play it round after round after round. This makes them the perfect vehicle for teaching and learning these chunks of language and features of pronunciation like connected speech and sentence stress. Other classic children's games like Duck, Duck, Goose can be adapted to be played in many different ways. One of my favorite examples of this is this song called I Like Bananas. It's from a children's course book, Robbie Rabbit. And this song gets taken to a new level of fun when sung while playing a game of Duck, Duck, Goose. I like bananas, I like apples, I like sandwiches, I like biscuits too. The children sit in a circle and another child walks around the outside, gently tapping each person on their head in time to the music. When the song ends, I like biscuits too. That child must ask the last person tapped a yes or no question about what type of food they like. Do you like bananas? If the answer is yes, the child must jump up and chase their friend around the outside of the circle, trying to catch them before they sit in the empty space. Just like Duck, Duck, Goose. So then the game continues in the same way, and as you can imagine, this same format can be used with many different songs from your course book or from websites. Presenting songs in the format of a game makes them even more engaging and consequently more memorable. Let's talk about pronunciation in the Young Learner classroom for a minute. It really has taken a backseat for a long time. For many teachers, it can feel like something that we don't have time for or maybe children don't need. Well, the next two activities are practical examples of how songs, rhymes, and chants can be easily incorporated into our lessons to help develop our learners' pronunciation. Counting out games often make little sense, but they have this functional purpose of selecting someone from the group by process of elimination. Let me explain. So for this one, the children each put a fist into the middle of the circle, and the teacher might say the chant and tap each person's hand. The child tapped on the last syllable of the chant is out. 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4, 5 potato, 6 potato, 7 potato more. This is a great way to practice word and sentence stress. Use it in your lessons every time you need to choose someone to be it in a game of tag or hide and seek, or even just for fun. Miss Mary Mack. This is one of those hand clapping games that you can use with your students as a jump off point for looking at rhyming words and even spelling. Make sure you teach the movements and the chant before looking at the written form, especially during the early stages of language learning. Learning to read and write words is easiest when children are already familiar with the sound and the meaning of the spoken word. This particular song would be great for teaching the short A sound, as well as words ending with ACK, IGH, and LY. This song could also be illustrated or acted out as an extension activity. The benefits of using music and movement in the primary classroom are widely known, so I encourage you to build up a repertoire of songs and games and use them regularly in class with your students. It is so easy to make them part of your routine, and this in turn builds this love of language learning that will last for years to come. While you're here, take a look at some of our other video content on YouTube and join our teaching community on Instagram for more learning, sharing, and support for teaching English to children.